Today we are learning to use arrays to divide, okay? We've been using arrays to multiply, and just like addition and subtraction are related, so are multiplication and division, so we can also use arrays to help us with dividing or division. And just a reminder that dividing is breaking something up into equal parts, okay? So what we're doing is we're taking a whole number today. It doesn't have to be a whole number though, sometimes it's a piece of cake, or a whole cake, sorry. We're dividing is breaking something up into equal parts. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make a whole number break into equal parts. Now, let's have a think today. We are going to play a game, all right? Now, to play the game, every player needs 4 counters, okay? So every player needs 4 counters. And if that's the case, then how many players can play, considering the counters that we have here, okay? So we're just going to use these counters to help us solve this problem. So how many players can play? Now, if every player needs 4 counters, then the best way to start would be to maybe make a row of 4 here. All right, so that's 1 player can play. And then we can make another row of 4. I should say there are 20 counters altogether, so you might have worked it out already if I tell you that there's 20 counters, but we'll just make or build our array here. So 3 players can play. Four players can play, and we still have some left over. So there we go. We've got 4 counters per player, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 4 here. So we can have 5 players, and we can write that as a dividing sentence. We can write 20, because that's what we started with. 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, wait a minute. We did arrays with multiplying sentences, and this is 5 lots of 4. So why don't we write that as 5 times 4 is equal to 20? Well, you're absolutely right. For every array, you can actually write 2 multiplying sentences and 2 dividing sentences, okay? So for our purposes here, we've written 20 divided by 4 equals 5 because we needed 4 counters per player, and we could have 5 players play. But it's also 5 players times 4 counters each is equal to 20 counters. Now, I did say that we could have 2 multiplying and 2 dividing sentences. So if I rotate this around the other way, then all of a sudden I have 4 times 5 equals 20, which, as we know, is the commutative law of multiplication. But I can also I still have 20 altogether, so I could still write that as 20 divided by, and now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per group. 20 divided by 5 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So 20 divided by 5 equals 4. So now I've got my 1 dividing sentence, 2 dividing sentences, 1 multiplying sentence, and 2 multiplying sentences, okay? So for every array that we build, we can write 2 dividing sentences and 2 multiplying sentences, which is quite cool. All right, so we're just gonna delete that, and we'll try a different scenario. All right, this time we have 28 counters in total, but we still need 4 counters per player. So as a dividing sentence, I need 28. I want my 28 over there, though. I want it here. 28 divided by 4 again. Okay. So how many times does 4 go into 28, or how many, I'm going to divide 28 into 4 equal groups. So I want 4 per group again, so I'll just highlight these 4, oops, and move them, so that's 1 player can play, 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, 5 players, 6 players, and 7 players. Alright, so 28 divided by 4 is 7, because I have 7 rows here. But like I said before, you could have written this as a multiplying sentence, or maybe you knew what the answer was because you know your times tables. So we have 7 lots of 4 is equal to 28, or 4 lots of 7 is equal to 28. Either one works, because remember we can just flip this whole thing round and all of a sudden we've got 4 lots of 7 instead of 7 lots of 4, or we could flip it back and leave it as it is. Okay, which means that our last sentence that we could have, we could also do 28 divided by 7 is equal to 4. Okay, so for every array we can have 2 multiplying sentences and 2 dividing sentences. All right, now when we're thinking about dividing, it doesn't have to be in an array. We could pop in a number track here. Oh, just deleted everything. Didn't like that very much. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay, and where we had 28 before. So we had 28 divided by 4. And we're trying to work out what that meant. So I'm working out 28, how many 4s go into 28, so how many players can play. And we could just use some 4s, so if I get my 4s out here, and work out how many will fit in my number track to 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 7, right. All the way to 28, so I'll delete these ones that I don't need. 28 divided by 4 is equal to 7, which we knew from our array. So we're back here at our where we started, where we have our arrays. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you a collection of arrays, and all I want you to do is write the 2 multiplying sentences and 2 dividing sentences that go with each one. And then I'll give you a few problem-solving ones where you have to draw the array and write the remaining sentences. Okay? If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Thank you.